Okay, shall we start?
Sure. Yes.
Great. Today, we're going to be talking to you all about presentation secrets. It's actually a very big program. I'm going to talk to you about just one particular aspect of presentation. So before we actually get into presentation secrets, we are going to do a small activity. Okay? So I'm going to play a video for you. So I want you to watch this video very, very carefully. And once the video is over, I would like to have at least 2 or 3 of you to give your feedback on what was delivered in that video. Welcome everybody to the Q3 update. I just want to let you know that the Q3 revenue is actually down. The rumors are unfortunately true. The numbers are down. But hey, we are at 15% in the number of new clients acquired. So that's good. Great job everyone. Our market share is also up, and that's not bad. And you guys were able to turn off some amazing new products this quarter, and I'm really proud of what you've done. When you compare us with our competitors, we're not actually doing very bad. And all of this has happened in a quarter in which the analysts predicted that we'd be down. So I would say that this is something that we had expected. So keep up the good work and thanks a lot for attending today's session. Have a great day. Okay, initial thoughts on this video.
Audio is not.
Audio is not good. Okay, that's unfortunate. So,
That was not
See,
the
personally, how you are talking, the same way we are not able to get it through the video.
okay.
So, in person, how you are able to put it across,
Mhm.
same dynamism we are not able to get it through the video.
Okay, but any comments on the content itself? Or was the
The
content
content was
not,
not very
not
much
really
attention.
audible?
Attracting the attention was not there.
Okay.
You have to catch the attention, then people will start listening intently.
Okay.
That was a bit missing there.
Okay.
We were not getting the context.
Okay.
Expressions are same.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Any other comments?
Body
Body
language.
language.
Body
Body
language.
language.
Body
Yes.
language.
Gestures were missing.
Okay. So essentially, this is a business meeting where this gentleman is giving a quarterly update to his team. So the team has not done well. So he is giving his update. So what has essentially happened over here is he has a set of information that he has given to the audience, which is essentially this. So what he has told in the talk is the revenue is down. That's the first point he says. Then he says new clients are up by 15%, which is a good news. Market share has gone up, and they have launched new products. They're doing well compared to the competition, but the Q3 forecast has been missed. This is the crux of what was delivered in that particular video.
He has not grouped the
Sequence
pluses
is not.
and minuses.
Sequence is not.
It's
being-
all, people are confused.
Exactly.
It was not presented.
Sequence is
Not
not arranged.
It should be in a sequence of first negatives, then come positives.
No,
First positive. First the positive.
Okay, let's take a vote. This is good. This is good. So how many of you feel that it should be negatives first and positives next? Show of hands. Okay. How many of you feel positives should be first and negatives should be next? Okay.
The best way to give feedback is the first
We have to give about positive.
Positive.
Then summarizingly, these are the negative, we have to improve करके, we have to give a feedback.
Even if you wanted to tell,
Suggestions.
even if you wanted to tell,
Okay.
even if you wanted to tell someone bad,
Mhm.
let us tell about in a positive way.
Positive.
Tell about it.
Okay.
That's a normal way.
Right. Good inputs. So we will look at another version of this same message. So I have another video for you. Same gentleman is going to come and talk to you. He's going to give the same message, but in a slightly different way. Welcome everybody to this Q3 update. When the forecasters looked at this quarter, they said our industry and our company in particular was the little red engine that couldn't. They said we wouldn't be able to make that climb. Despite that, we have shaken the market in a down economy. Our new client wins are up 15%. And in fact, 4 of the new clients that we've got are large multinational companies that we've been targeting for the past 3 years. Yes, revenue is down. But let's give this some context. The economy is down. Our industry tracks with the economy, and so it's also down. Our company is a leader in our industry and tracks with it. So, of course, our revenue is also going to be down. But how did we do in comparison to our competitors? Acme Core is down 12%. Durable Core is down 8%. How down are we? Only 2%. So, how has that impacted our market share? We have made significant gains not only domestically but also abroad. Even though the marketplace has endured a season of chaos and uncertainty, you have made this season one of my proudest moments in my career. Just look at the products we'll be rolling out in the next quarter. Wow! Isn't that an amazing lineup we've got? It takes innovation and tenacity to create stunning products of this magnitude in a market filled with disruption, and you did it. If you can be this innovative in an uncertain environment, I just can't wait to see what you will do when the markets are going to turn up. We're not only the engine that could, we are an engine that cannot be stopped. Thank you for attending this meeting. Have a wonderful day. Thoughts on this video?
Very motivating.
Okay?
See, there's a positive vibration we are able to feel compared with the first video.
Mm-hmm.
Body language is good.
Okay. Anything else?
You are appreciating the audience.
Okay. I'm appreciating the team.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
It's positive first and the rest of things are later.
Okay.
It's highly convincing, passionate, when you were talking,
Mm-hmm.
and then a lot of emphasis on positive things.
Right. Okay.
The delivery was much better than this than the previous one.
Okay.
The important things are brought in the second half, making the proudest moment. Got it.
Okay.
Every negative data were justified.
Okay.
Even
Carefully
the,
crafted.
even the negative things put in a positive light and like it's kind of motivating.
Yes. The same message, the same content was delivered in both videos. There were only 2 things that happened. The order was swiped a little bit, and there was a storyline which was going. I was talking about the little red engine that couldn't. That was the analogy I started. And I showed how this engine, this little engine which is representing the organization, is moving forward and going uphill with the support of the team. So what has essentially happened is, it's the same list of points, but just that if you look at the order, I started with the negative. Yes, we have missed the forecast. But the new clients are up 15%. Revenue is down. But we are doing well compared to our competition. Our market share is up and we are launching new products. So there is one critical word that I used in that video. Can anyone tell me what is that one critical word that I used?
Because of you.
Number one and market.
There was one very critical word when I was delivering that video. I play that video once again for you.
You said
Watch out for that.
We got
when the
important
market
clients.
grows, when the market improves, we will move.
That is a fact. But there was one word that I used which made this entire video sound motivational.
You made it
Even
happen.
at this point of time, you made it.
No, all
when
this
it is-
happened.
You are close. You are close to that.
Yes.
When the market is down,
You made it happen because
Economy is bad.
nobody.
That's all fine.
you made the team to feel important for this growth.
Even when I explained this slide, I used that word. We missed our Q3 forecast, but new clients are up 15%. The word but is a very, very powerful word. When you are delivering your message, when you want to give some message to your audience, when you use the word but, the audience forgets what you have said before that but. They remember only what we said after that but.
But after, but only the positive things should come.
Positive
Exactly.
understanding, yeah.
Yes, so that's what I meant. So we have missed our 2, 3, 4 but new clients are up 15%. When you use the but we are doing well compared to our competitors.
And the new clients also, who, top 3 where we are targeting for the last 3 years.
Yes. So that word but is very, very, very critical when you are presenting your message, when you are writing a script for your programs, when you are creating a story for your programs, and when you want to deliver a very hard hitting and a very positive message, you always remember to use this word but. There was a problem. So we listened to a wonderful story just before this. There were problems, but I overcame those problems. So the positivity stays. So when you are giving soft skill training, when you are trying to motivate people, when you are crafting your stories, when you are crafting your presentation, always be sure that when you are scripting them, be careful as to where exactly you are positioning the word but. Because when you put that word in there, all that you've said before that goes away. The audience is like, so you are doing all of this, but, okay. But what is there? That is what is going to stick in the minds of your audience. So whenever you are creating your narrative, it could be anything. Be it a presentation, it could be even talking to your customers. So you might be pitching your training program or anything to your customer, and they may have some objections to whatever you want to say, but when you use the word but, that is there. But look at this. That your brain automatically shuts off whatever comes before that but and concentrates on what is going to come after that.
Shift up topic from one further.
Exactly. So when you do that, this is a very, very powerful technique that you can actually use when it comes to delivering and crafting your messages. That is the first point. The second thing is the use of a story. Stories always enamor people. Like we just enjoyed the previous presentation. When you think about a previous presentation, we talked about what is converting your weaknesses into strengths. The moment we think about that particular presentation, we immediately remember Mr. Mehta's story as how he came to Chennai and how he struggled and how he overcame those struggles and became a success story. How is that connection happening? Because of a story. We are all natural storytellers. So we love listening to stories. Our characteristics may be different. We may call ourselves that I am this kind of a person, I am that kind of a person. I am reserved, I am open, I am motivated, I am recluse or anything like that, but everyone loves a good story. And we are experts in telling stories. So always remember that when you are in front of an audience, craft stories, tell stories. And when you are telling stories, remember this one word that is going to help you really bring out your message and make it really stand out for your audience. Right? So we talked about stories and how important stories are and how the word but is going to make a lot of difference. So I would like to talk about one other component of stories. When you are creating stories, one of the most important elements that you need to remember is creating contrast. Because when we tell a story, oftentimes what will happen is we start from the beginning, we just go through the motion, we talk about the middle and sort to the end. Because oftentimes you will see that when you listen to a lot of stories, some stories will be like, okay, so he has a story, something's happening. But some stories are very, very gripping. What makes a story gripping? What makes a story really sit up and listen? And when you tell personal stories, why are personal stories so very resonating with your audience? That is because
Emotional quotient.
emotional quotient, and there is always contrast. There is always a shift between a good and a bad. There is always a trial and a tribulation, and there is a success. The next trial comes and the next success comes. That is what makes us sit up and listen to stories. So when you're crafting your stories, always remember that you need to create contrast in your narration. So how do you create contrast? There are three types of contrast that you can create. I'll quickly jump over to that slide. So the first contrast that you can create is contrast in content. So when you say content, how do you create contrast? One is through this positive and negative shift that we can do. The other way in which you can create contrast is to create a conflict and play with the beliefs, the belief systems that your audience has. So let's suppose you are going for a training, you are conducting a training. You are going for let's say you are going for a soft skill training. So you are essentially going there to change or shift the mindset of your audience from where they are to where they need to be. So what you do is you throw in a challenge to their status quo through your narration, and then they will sit up and listen. When someone challenges you, immediately sit up and say, "What? I'm not doing that. This is not me." Or "You are wrong." Anyway, let them challenge you. Because an audience that challenges you is an audience that is engaged with you, an audience that is invested in you, and only when an audience challenges you, you will be able to enter into a dialogue and ultimately be able to sell the message that you have for them. So creating content, this was actually, a study was actually conducted in the year 1986. So there were a couple of scientists who took around 500 speeches from Great Britain and they analyzed around 35,000 sentences, and they went through the records to see which were those sentences that got applause from the audience. And out of all the 35,000 sentences that they studied, 95% of the sentences that got applause were those sentences which challenged the status quo. When Martin Luther King said, "I had a dream, I have a dream." What is that dream? He was challenging the status quo over there. So that is very, very important. So the moment you start creating contrast in content, your audience gets engaged. The second place where you can create contrast is emotion. So again, emotional contrast is, you're all very, very familiar how to create an emotional contrast. We just saw a very beautiful example. So as presenters, you have a lot of opportunities where you can create emotional contrast. It need not be just from the words that you speak. So when you say emotional contrast, you can create emotional contrast in so many different ways. So you can talk about benefits, you can talk about analogies, metaphor, you can talk about drama, you can dramatize like what I just did right now, a little bit of dramatization. You can create an element of shock, especially if you are doing a presentation on environmental awareness. I did a presentation about 3 months back on environmental awareness, where I showed them a photograph and asked them what this is. It was a body of water. So I asked them what this is. So they were telling me there was a sunrise, beautiful sunrise happening. There was a body of water. The water was rippling, the sun was reflecting on it nicely. So I asked them what this is. They know it's an environmental seminar. I said, it's a beautiful body of water. We need to conserve it and all. I told them, no. This is a photograph that I took in 2015 after the floods came. That is 6 feet of water under which I have my paddy fields. Those are paddy fields which are submerged under 6 feet of water. What caused these floods? We caused these floods. So now let's talk about environmental awareness. So how you can bring in that, this is just one example of how you can throw in shock. So you have a nice little photograph, everyone likes it, it's a beautiful nature looking photograph, but it's actually damaged paddy fields. Right? So there are a lot of ways in which you can create stories and strike that emotional chord, strike that emotional contrast and make them shift. What they saw as beautiful was actually a site of destruction. It was a field that has been destroyed. Acres of fields have been destroyed. But the photograph looks beautiful. It looks like a nice body of water, sun rising on top of it. There are some trees in the background. Nice orange colors, very, very beautiful sunrise. Something totally different. So you can create contrast like that. You can use humor, you can use surprise. There are a lot of ways in which you can bring in that emotional contrast. So when you are crafting your story, when you are creating a narrative, this is especially useful when you are opening your presentations. See, look for stories, look for visuals, look for anecdotes that will create an emotional contrast. You put them in one state, then you violently shake them out from there and put them in another place. They will wake up and they will see what's happening. They will want to know what's happening. And the last one is delivery. Of course, you are all trainers, I don't have to tell you more about this. So when it comes to delivery, please don't do monologues. Always have a lot of activities, engage the audience, talk to them, make them talk to you. Because as a trainer, one of the things that I have learned is training is a two-way street. As much as your audience learns from you, you learn from them. Don't miss that opportunity. There is so much your audience can offer for you. Because when I look at this room, there are so many accomplished professionals over here. And all of you have years and years of experience behind you. I have my experience. I can talk to them. But when I let you all talk, that is where my learning happens. My self-improvement happens. My growth happens. So that when I go to my next session, I am a better trainer than what I am today.
Perfect.
Correct.
Perfect. Very true.
So always remember that when you are creating a training program, when you are making a presentation, it could be anything. It may not be just restricted to your tool. The message that I am giving to you today is not only for your training programs, it could be for anything that you do. Anywhere you go and talk. Always remember these points. When you are creating a narrative, incorporate these points into your narrative and you will have an engaged audience which will listen to you, which will want to continue listening to you, follow you and be with you. So with that, I would like to take any questions you might have.
Fantastic.
Three
The importance of contrast today is pinned down on our mind. So far it has not been thought about it.
Thank you.
important content I learned today.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
we apply every day, right? But you don't even know what is contrast, how it is applied.
How it is applied for training, it is defined in different ways. This is the learning process.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
In this content, you emphasize positive and negative shift. Perhaps in your video also, it was continuously shifting. Like missing the forecast is negative. Again, but we got 15% of market share. Again, missing some. I mean, it was oscillating. More emphasis on positive, like that it ended. And emotion, yeah, you are about to ask.
The more positive was actually shown because of that one single word. But
As far as emotions, a series of avenues are available, which are shown.
yes,
Including the example of that flood that beautiful photograph. In delivery, what is the central points?
okay. So when it comes to delivery, I normally use a mix of traditional and non-traditional methods. So what typically happens is when we get into a delivery mode, like always I say, it becomes more of a one-way street. I talk, you listen. You must make people talk. Find ways. So when you are scripting your presentation, whether it's for a training or whether it is for your client, find ways in which you can make people talk.
Dialogue.
It should be dialogue and you must make them speak more. Because if you are in a training industry, you are learning. If you are pitching to your client, the more you make your clients talk, the more you understand what they need, the more you understand what their problems are, and you will be able to provide solutions.
There are three advantages. One, by the time you make them talk, it's already a success. So you can relax and enjoy what they talk. Second, it adds to the learning.
And when you let people talk, you give them a pedestal, you make them feel important. And we humans have this natural urge to share what we know and what we want. The moment you put them on that pedestal and say, I want to listen to you talk, the moment you convey that to them, they become more open and you will be able to elevate your status as an equal and have a dialogue which is mutually respecting and ultimately get what you want. Yes.
Very seriously.
Thank you.
Vaidhi is the person who has initiated the book club for us in the alumni. So he has started from last month.
Yes.
That's a great thing. I want to congratulate and
Thank you.
start doing that. It's a good initiative. That's why I gave you will do. That's not a thing. It has to be done by you. You have initiated, you have to do.
Throw some light. What is that book club?
Book club is bringing some something like we can review a book. Last week Suganya, that madam did actually. It was wonderful. I attended.
Somebody can go through a book and
Book and
explain
then
what
you have to review about
What
that.
happens is the
Tell about it.
yeah, so the format goes like this. So every month we will have one session. So anyone can come in, review a book that they want and take questions from the audience. And when it comes to reviewing a book, again you can shift from traditional and non-traditional methods. Either you can give a talk about the book, share points, or you can take the book, convert it into an activity and make every one of us do a debrief first, and through that debrief give us the content. So the mode in which you want to do the book review, the mode in which you want to communicate the message is entirely up to you.
This is something online he is doing, and I think that is the correct mode of doing that.
Yeah, so a lot of people can attend. This happens once a month. We do it on Zoom. So I'm hosting it on my Zoom platform. So if you all would like to share, and one of the things that I realized after the first session with Ms. Suganya was the amount of knowledge, the amount of pointers that we got in about 45 minutes. With that, you can create so many programs.
I got a lot of ideas from the inputs what he has given and shared.
You got the essence or wealth in a short
Exactly.
short
So
time.
there is so much, and she also gave her perspective, and that gives a platform for you to have a dialogue and discuss and deliberate some of the ideas. And the moment you start having a dialogue and you start deliberating, that will throw in some sparks in your head. You will get new ideas. The more you share, the more you get. So Ms. Suganya has given her book club. I think the second, I think we have 2 more people already in queue.
Already I booked for 2 months.
Yes, 2 months they're already booked.
Very good.
So I'll be sharing the details early next month along with the date. So usually we will have it in the
It's
evenings.
one program per month or what is the kind of program?
One program a month.
Maybe if it is going to be very good, this one and then
Kindly
you will
wait
for 2 parts.
Usually I had a discussion with some people also gave feedback. People feel Saturday evenings will be better at around 8 in the evening. So people can finish their dinner, or if they are going out or something, they can come back and 8 o'clock finish their dinner, just sit back. And this will be only for 1 hour, 8 to 9. So the book review will happen for about, so I will do a quick introduction of the speaker that take about 5 minutes. And then the speaker goes on for about 35 to 40 minutes. And the next 15-20 minutes will be open for Q&A and any discussions that we would like to have.
So this book, what you're talking about is any book for that matter?
Any book, whatever you have read, you want to review it along with our trainer, you can come in.
What was the book that was started?
So the first book was the subtle art of not giving a fuck.
Book is different actually, totally name.
But the name seems
The concept is something.
but the concept was very nice. There were a lot of interesting stories in that book that she shared with us, and it was very enlightening.
So another thing he is doing is coffee with Vaidhi.
Okay.
That also it will.
Okay, sure.
People should know about it, yeah.
So
We have seen.
See, he is the Vaidhi.
He's the
yeah, I had that coffee with Vaidishwaran.
So
we will have coffee with him.
tomorrow you can have coffee with and you can have a discussion.
So I actually did a coffee with Vaidhi session last evening. So what is coffee with Vaidhi is so I'm into L&D. As you all know, I'm into learning and development, and I've been in the industry for close to 15 years now. And in my journey, I come across a lot of ed tech. I come across a lot of platforms that are available which you can use as trainers, which students can use. And there are a lot of platforms which are actually free. There are a lot of software which are free, or you can use the free version of certain software to take care of your needs. So what I do is I handpick some of these softwares, because in my role I come across numerous softwares day in and day out. So once a month I conduct a 1 to 1.5 hour workshop where I'll pick one software. I'll let you know what the software is in advance. So you come, I will start from downloading and installing that software to exploring all the features that are there and how you can use, because I also have an instructional design background. So I will tell you how you can strategically use it in your creating your programs or in your programs and all. And after that, there will be about 20 to 25 minutes for Q&A. Any questions I will take, and I am offering all these sessions free of charge, no cost attached to this. So if you are interested, if you have your friends who are interested, please feel free to come and join. All these sessions are recorded. I will be sharing the recordings also with you. They will be perpetually available with you. So whenever you get to that need and you want to go back and you refer back to that, you can do that. And there's also a WhatsApp group for that. So once you go back to the recording, you have any questions or any doubts, you can post that question on the group and I will be most happy to answer that question.
Where is the location of the?
Virtual coffee.
Virtual.
It's on Zoom.
You can have it at
So
home.
Yeah, we can have our own coffee.
yeah, you will have your coffee, I'll have my coffee.
Coffee of your choice.
Virtual has become a reality.
I am looking for coffee too.
Good job.
Thank you.
See,
You can come out to my
People should
place.
come people should come out like this. I want each one of you to come up with such programs.
If you guys want,
Now it will start
a
doing
physical coffee
so
and
that it
coffee.
will make us mingle and
Will you share the link with us?
understand.
yes, I will share the link with all of you. I'll post the link
Because
on the
we are already
WhatsApp.
posted,
Already
but
done.
if we don't understand, now we are clear.
Yes. So what I will do is I'll post the link on the group. You can join the group. We have a lot of
It is monthly ones.
monthly ones.
But try to see that it should not clash with alumni.
It will not.
Any
will not.
But let's check with me.
It will definitely
third
not.
Saturday, anything like that, any sequence or order?
But yeah,
Actually,
once in a
it
month.
really
Yeah,
depends
because
on
I'm
when I am
Game date
to be honest. But it will usually be the weekends. It will not be on weekdays. Because weekdays, people have their own pulls and pressures, and people might have to work in late and all of that. So
Right.
it will not happen on weekdays. It will happen only on weekends. And Mahesh sir, it will definitely not clash with any of our IATD alumni activities. That I will guarantee.
That is why I told you, you take initiative, you do that independently. That's all.
Yes.
That's good. That's what I want. Each one has to come out with some plans. So that it is not that I should do. You do.
We can grow together.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what.
We all learn together.
See,
we all
it is a
grow
new
together.
thing is giving input. This we will learn also.
So I have actually conducted 2 of these sessions already. So the third session will happen next month. I started this initiative last month. So, and all the videos are
So
available.
for month of May and June, people are fixed for book review.
Yes.
July you take my name.
Okay, done.
Fine.
I also have one. I also have one.
Yes.
I'm reading a book, in fact.
Up to July it's fixed, sir. If at all, if you are going to come, it is in August.
Please.
See, now you get lot of.
So please.
You can publish a running
Only
list.
English books or we haven't
Book
counted
it fully.
Anything.
Yeah, I'll do that. No problem. I'll create a
He's
book.
asking one question.
Yes, only English books or it's not bookstore. Historical books or things on.
Up to you, sir.
Any book.
Any book that will add value to us as a
Right.
community.
Sure,
You
Please.
can take my name, then I will decide to.
No, what? You have to.
He says,
Because one of-
he says booking first, then we get the book.
And one more thing that I want to talk about
We'll meet
IATD
before once is
of
gone.
this.
But
Again, it happens on Zoom.
That the book.
The session is recorded, and I will give you a copy of the recording to you. So if you have your own YouTube channel, you can post it over there, share it with your
That
friends.
will be better.
I will do that as well. If you don't have a YouTube channel, I have my channel. I will post it over there, share it with the
This
link.
is what actually the need
No, that
to
will
do
be
in IIT.
marketing mode itself for this thing, no?
Therefore, this is what actually, see, he is creating the program,
That is what I
conducting
want.
it and giving to us, and he is also growing. That's all, he is giving opportunity to grow.
The reason why I am doing all of this is to make sure that our training community in India grows and gets global recognition, because there's no dearth for talent over here.
Correct.
It's only a matter of how we position ourselves and how we expose ourselves.
Sure.
And that is exactly what I want to do for our community.
And people say, so many BA in training industry, but people we don't know how to realize the billions into.
Yes.
That is exactly what I'm trying to do
Journalism.
with these initiatives.
Yes, Stanley.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you, everyone.